All right, happy week 3, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week. So for this post this week, we're going to share our second personal aesthetic portfolio artwork. So for mine, you can see it down below down there. It's going to be Joan of Arc by Jules Bastien-Lepage. It was painted in 1879. It's oil on canvas. What really struck me to this one was when I was kind of going through looking for some stuff, I immediately noticed the girl in it. And just the look of like, what is she thinking about or what's going on? Well, as I look closer at the painting, you could see behind her, there's 3, which I thought they were spirits at first, but now they're saints after I did some research on it. And then you look a little bit further and you'll see like a wool mill, and you'll see the stool tipped over, almost as if she was sitting there and left in a rush to go think about something. But you could definitely tell she's in a deep thought, really thinking about something. And it just drew me. I kind of compared it to almost like a Where's Waldo type thing, because I was looking at her, then every time I'd look further, I just keep seeing more and more of the painting, and it really sucked me in. And one thing that I noticed was the form in it, and like I said, the saints hovering almost. I kind of put the artist wants you to know they're waiting on an answer from her, and you could kind of feel that. You got one with his arms crossed and another one praying, and there was another one almost like crying or upset, and you could tell they were kind of gazing at her and looking for that answer. And then, like I said, with the wool mill and the stool being tipped over, as if she left almost in a rush or panic to go think about whatever this is that they presented her. Which then I learned it was for her to go fight in the 100-Year War against Britain, I believe. The other thing that really drew me was the color. It was just, I find myself with these colors that I'm liking the softer almost colors of everything. Like you have these light greens and blues, and I almost felt like it was a springtime feel without the flowers blooming yet, if that makes sense. You have that spring right before everything gets ready to bloom. That's kind of how I felt. This is the timing and kind of what the depiction of the area was. And just, I guess I'll get into the focal point next, which just kind of drew me to it because it kind of coincides with the color. The focal point's obviously Joan, but I really had to look at what drew me into seeing her stand out on everything else going on. And once I kind of looked, I felt like the artist used a little bit more brighter colors on her. I'm not 100%, but that's just how I feel by looking at it and kind of analyzing similar colors to her that she has, her dress, her shirt, and just looking and just trying to kind of see what made her stand out. Now I can, obviously she's in the front of the painting, but also her color I think made her stand out, versus the saints are almost a 3-dimensional. You can kind of see through them a little bit. So they were kind of just gradually incorporated in to the painting. So that kind of drew me in. And then I found the rhythm with this painting like a lot. Like I'd look at Joan, okay, I'd see her, then my attention get drawn to the 3 saints, and then you look at each saint at what they're doing and kind of correlate that back to Joan, and then you see the mill, and then the stool tipped over, and then you kind of just look and you see the peaceful environment that she's in, that she shouldn't have left that in a rush. There's no reason. I felt like that when the artist painted this, there was definitely a rhythm. You'd see Joan, then you'd see the saints, and you'd kind of evaluate each saint, and then you'd go on and see the mill and then the area around. So that was just kind of what caught me up on that. So anyway, that's my analysis for this. I'm really enjoying doing this stuff. It's, I've never been a big art person, but learning about how everything kind of flows and goes together and what draws you to it's been a lot of fun. So hope everybody has a good week 3, and we'll see you next week.